Well, that was wild. You came on the exact same time I did. That's funny. There you go. You're unmuted. So I am going to stay on tonight. What the hell? Might as well go in it for the long road.
That's it, man. Trooper.
I gotta be honest with you. I got the nicest email from somebody today. I have to post it on the group. Just like bring you to tears. It was so nice over what we've been doing. So makes it all worth it.
That's good. I think there's been a lot of people that have been on multiple nights, which is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. And I think people are starting to watch the YouTube videos of the past ones too. Patti just jumped in, so except Patti is in as a panelist, so I got to promote her. I mean, as an attendee. There you go. I just promoted her. Hey, Patti. Oop, got to unmute her. Hey, Patti.
Hi.
Uh-oh. Patti's got
How's
her
it
food
going?
and wine prepared.
I'm eating. I'm eating Belvita. I love these things.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right, New York Mets.
Let's do it, Patti.
I was going to wear a
All
Mets
for you.
shirt, but I'm wearing my Tech Squad shirt instead.
I was gonna wear my Mets hat, but I did my hair for you because, you know,
Aw.
keeping it Jersey.
Well, thank you. Are we the only ones on here right now?
We've got 4 attendees already.
All right.
So
Are they already on audio?
they are.
All right. Hi, everybody.
If
We
you're
should
an
start a
attendee-
preheat. Should we do like, you know?
Yeah, so just the way this Zoom works, Patti, they can't talk to us. They have to type a message into the
Yep.
into the message bar or
Yeah.
the chat, and we're in the Q&A, one or the other. But they can hear you,
I feel bad that you had to be on, Derek. I heard you couldn't get the night off.
right? It's getting yeah. We were hoping we could start switching off, but
Yeah.
so if I look like something by the time this is done, if I look like something the cat dragged in, you know why. So
It's a huge effort. I can't thank you enough for doing this for all of us.
to be honest with you, this part is the fun and easy part. It's the freaking setup and getting all the emails out and the notifications in the groups and you know, all the attendees, they get an automated email campaign. So I have to set that up every single day. And that's
a lot of work.
And Zoom changed the link. Otherwise I could use one standard email campaign all the time. I have to actually recreate it every day.
You regenerate it every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom put this new stupid security in. So we're kind of stuck. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I hosted a couple small things and I struggle with that. So I can't even imagine having this many people.
I would love to see Zoom bombing, like alive, like if somebody could show me like what it looked like when somebody jumped into like, you know, the science teacher's thing with
I'm sure there's a few recordings out there to watch, right? I like even better the people that forget they're on video and mic.
Yeah.
My daughter's college class the other day, one of the kids forgot that their mic was on still and was F-bombing the professor. And my daughter's like, I think you typed her, you should shut up right now. Your mic is on.
Oh my God.
Too late, I heard her. Oh man. Guess you're failing that class, right?
Funny.
These kids don't realize my son is on like a major baseball club team and they have to shoot videos of themselves on a daily to promote and go through the Instagrams. So he shoots a video and he's editing and he goes, I sent it, but I forgot to turn the sound off. I go, why? He goes, because my friend was behind me shouting the F-bomb. And I'm like, oh, great. I said, well, I think that your coach will probably edit it before he airs it. But we were laughing.
This is funny.
So, do you want to get into my screen share yet?
So whenever you want, Patti. So do you know how to you know how to work Zoom, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm getting there pretty good. So
while you're doing that, I am also going to pop up the Facebook Live to make sure it works.
Okay,
So
perfect.
bear with me.
Let me get this open.
Live on Facebook.
Let's see.
Should be coming up in a second, James. Somebody else just popped in as I guess as an admin. I'm not sure.
Uh-oh, we're being infiltrated.
Somebody wants to come in probably as a panelist.
It's Steven. He's coming in to support me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know if you were serious or not. I don't care.
He was just
Any of us coaches can come on and join, as a panelist to support the speaker.
I think it's a good thing. I thought in the beginning we'd be kind of doing that behind the scenes, but I'm sure it could get chaotic if everybody started to talk.
Yeah, well, that, and you know what, people are tired. I mean, we've been all going at this nonstop. So the Facebook Live is running in the group.
All right, good. That's awesome. Hi, everybody.
And where the hell did my Zoom go?
I'm going to cast this. I'm going to leave it off 1 second.
Why did my Zoom change? What the hell?
All right, I got you up live. All right, that's good.
Get it on my phone, make sure my phone stays on. So aggravating that does that. Come on. It's funny that the phone actually works better for the comments than the iPad. That really aggravates me. A freaking $1,200 iPad, and it sucks.
You know what though, too? Sometimes when you're trying to comment on the iPad, just the size of it, like the needing of the second hand, just gets to be a little bit crazy.
Well, my comments don't show up for some reason on the iPad. I don't know if it's because it's my group. On my phone, it shows up, but not on the iPad. It's weird. Very weird. Yeah, maybe I should log in as my wife next time and see how it looks from there. So we've got 10 attendees so far on there already. So people are jumping on early. We've got 13 in here already. That's good.
Yeah, I see that on here.
I know Christine ran a paid ad for us last night. So we got a lot of people to join.
Oh, that's awesome. Through her Facebook page?
Yeah, I think she boosted the post about inviting people to do this. So that's good.
I tell you, I jumped on a platform this morning for another program that's out of the industry. And it's kind of like a lot of people that I've seen before. Like when I attended, what's the one in New Orleans every year? Why can't I think of it? The one in James. Is it James?
Yeah,
I can't think of it for the life of me. But I saw like Dr. Daniel Amen there, and like there's like Michael Hyatt. There's all these like really high performers on this platform, and I jumped on there today. It was insane, but of course it turned into a giant sales pitch and trying to get money.
And that's kind of what we've been trying to avoid, right? James, you got a lot of feedback on your mic again tonight.
How's that?
Sounds good now.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
My gain might have been up too high. What is that called in New Orleans? I'm trying to think, Patty.
Yeah, why can't I think of it? It's serious business. Serious business.
That's what it is. That's the Salon Today thing.
Yeah, we were Salon Today top 200, and we got, we went down for that, and it was amazing. But so this platform, one of the guys, they always have somebody that's completely outside of the industry, and this guy was Dr. Daniel Amen. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a major like brain doctor, and he's in this format too. But none of the education started yet. But I did a live share party watch with them, and I don't know. I'm going to follow it. Just to see some of the other people. Sean T from like the big workout things on there, and there's like a ton of other guys. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Yeah, it's a very eclectic mix of icons, but it keeps building. Kind of the same thing that we did. Like people are just jumping in, which is kind of cool. So
that used to be. James, you still got that feedback going on.
I'm working on it. Let's see.
That used to be Patti. It used to be run by. I'm trying to think. I think a software company. I'm trying to think what product company it was
Who's
too.
Serious Business?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I went, it was like an Aveda world, and I was the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's it. It was
Yeah.
big Aveda, some
And it was
software company.
Salon Today, Aveda, and there was someone else. But it was funny because I landed there because of
Salon Biz software.
That's
who used
exactly, yeah, exactly. They were the first when I was there. It's a great program. It's very similar to the Art of Business program in Philly that, you know, Howard and Josh do. I hope they jump on. I messaged them both today. Josh said he was going to be on. So hopefully I'll see.
Yeah, what I'd like to do is, you know, we can all talk about it, but eventually maybe this is the Jersey crew we got right now, right? Christine will be on, not on,
Yeah,
but she'll be
and
on.
Christine's our other counterpart. Yeah, we have a lot of Jersey on here.
Yeah, we got a few other leaders and, you know, Jersey people. Gino's from Jersey originally, so
Yes,
that's.
he is. Seaside Park.
He grew up in Point Pleasant, where I'm
Point Pleasant
from.
and Seaside, yeah. He said he'd be on.
Don't even mix the two. Seaside's the ghetto, girl.
I shouldn't say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to put any.
I know what you're going to say. Don't say it.
Seaside was fun, and it was called Sleeside.
That's it. I didn't say it. I don't want to offend anybody. See, Suzanne's on here yelling Joyzy. You go, girl, Suzanne. She's saying it on here in the chat.
That's funny. So, so those are the old days. God.
Even Stephen Gomez always says to me, don't go all Jersey on me. Like if I get upset or I get hot about something, he laughs. He goes, here comes the Jersey. I'm like, all right, what am I, Marissa Tomei? Like stamping my feet.
The clock is ticking.
Yeah, I love that movie. Reappositraction. It's great. Oh, Manalocan. Suzanne shouting out her location. I'm coming to that house, girl. I'm coming to Manalocan to have coffee with you. I've met so many people on this format with the, you know, just meeting people through Facebook. It's been awesome. Jeff, there's Jeff. What's he saying? The pleasure of staying in a seaside motel last year. Oh boy.
Jeff's in Brooklyn.
He's brave. He's brave.
Did you bring anything home with you?
He won a big stuffed teddy bear and got bed bugs and brought him back.
That's what I meant.
I was thinking worse than the COVID virus.
Oh my goodness.
So funny.
No, I have fond memories as a very young girl going to Seaside when they had the big giant pool with the high dive. You remember that?
I definitely remember it.
Oh my God, Casino Pier and the rides, the Himalaya on the boardwalk, and that scary haunted mansion. I was terrified of that thing.
And the sawmill and the wine.
Oh my God, with the giant piece of pizza.
And Chatterbox.
Well, my sister was Miss Chatterbox, 1970 something. They had like a, you know, beauty contest. She used to run it every Sunday down there. Hilarious. I was a kid, but they let me in because she was, you know, in the contest. So.
And Baby O's and Temptations and Hollywood and all the bars, right? That was the day. Joey Harrison's.
I lived on that street, Joey Harrison's, for 4 years every summer. Oh my God, Surf Club was great. We used to have so much fun in Ortley every morning at Sunny.
My cousin was one of the bartenders at Joey Harrison, and then what was it? I'm trying to think of the other one. It wasn't Temptations. It was the
Headliner, the Osprey.
Oh
my
Bamboo?
God.
No, it was like 2 doors down.
Which one? Bamboo Bar?
I was just so you know, I was the manager at Casablanca.
My husband was in a band for years down there at the Jersey Shore called Turnstiles. It was a Billy Joel cover band, and he was like
so the
house
owner
band.
of Casablanca used to own all those bars. Leggett's, Madison
Leggett's,
Yacht Club.
the smallest bar in the world. I guess Leggett's.
But Casablanca, oh my God, nobody ever saw crowds like that. We used to have a line 4 blocks long every Sunday.
It was a sweat box.
Crazy. That was the day. That was the day.
Bar A, Suzanne's saying. Suzanne, that's where my husband played.
I could throw a rock at Bar A from my house. I live right in Belmar.
Really? My husband's been performing down there with his old band like every other month just for fun. And I've been down there recently. I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, well, when this nuttiness
Hi,
is
Christine.
over.
Christine's on.
There she is. Hey, Christine, thank you so much for boosting this out for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Christine.
So the time frame, Patty, and I'm sure you've heard me say this before, we go live at 8:05.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And James has kind of been giving me some background on, time frames and sweet spots. And so I'm trying to be respectful of that. This program could be, it's cut down from a larger, 4 hour, 6 hour, depending on the breakouts and how many people. So I'm just kind of
Yeah,
condensed.
it's hard. It's hard.
And I'm steering it a little bit towards, salon owners.
Yeah, you got 21 people already in.
All right. We're getting there.
31 on live, 21 in here. So good. People are coming on. 25. Yeah.
I know it's
cool,
Sunday night. A lot of people are getting burnt out.
Yeah, I was telling James, I got the nicest letter today, or an email, right, from somebody out in Utah, I think it was.
Wow.
And they were just like, it was like, I have to read it during one of these, not tonight, but another one. I got to tell you, It really brought tears to my eyes. People are appreciating what we're doing by doing this. They said it's kind of their every night thing now, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, instead of watching TV, just get on here.
It is. And I got to tell you, last night was like a comedy show with Beth, wasn't it? Oh my God, it was so funny.
Oh my God, I wasn't prepared.
And I know how to get Beth wound up too. So.
Oh, yeah, I did enjoy it though. Here's Nikki.
Nikki's on. Iva's on. Stacy, Anthony DeFranco. Anthony, you owe me a phone call. God, we have like the whole New York, New Jersey crew, right?
Yeah, East Coast, baby.
Exactly.
So everybody knows this is like 10 days, right?
Yeah, Suzanne wants to know what day we are on. So we're on day 8 today because we started on a Sunday.
Today is 8, and I just found out we are booked out for 30 straight so far.
Woo! Is Andrew going to be on here tonight?
And, he should be. I invited him in. He should be in.
He added another date and then asked me to bump it back later. So I just want to know if he still has me on.
He's got a whole slew of educators that signed on. We got some pretty neat ones coming up.
Yeah, that's
your guy just signed on today, James.
Oh, Jay?
The one, yeah, Jay. Nicholas French just signed on. We're gonna have some good times here. Good times.
Oh, that's good. You guys, Christine, and I don't know if you've met Jay Williams, right, Patty?
Oh my God, I know Jay very well.
Yeah.
From his very beginnings, because we're all art of business peeps,
Yeah, and Jay, Jay and I are good friends, and I probably talked to him about 100 times in the last 3 weeks. And
when you talk to him, just mention my husband, and I think he has the biggest man crush on him in the world.
Oh, that's funny.
He loves my husband, Paul. He's a good guy, Jay. He's taught me a lot. I could wax about something he told me when I was out at Euphora one year, and he did a workshop for the education team out there. And, you see something over and over, and you think, all right, like I've heard this, I've seen the program, and then something just jumps out at you that didn't resonate the first time and knocks you over.
Nikki said the Pope is saying a quick prayer if we want to start with a prayer.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's nice. We have a lot of people who are.
I would do that if you guys want.
Christian, spiritual, not just Christian, and a lot of people in here. And, regardless of what religion you are, God bless all of you, because there's a God for every religion. So just keep that in mind. Take care of yourself and take care of the ones around you if you can.
Absolutely. What is Suzanne asking for an invitation to? I missed that.
My invitation. I'm waiting. I think maybe she wanted to sign up as an educator. Suzanne, you got to go on the main page, and there's a link there to sign up as an educator on the Beauty Business Reset website.
All right. What do we got for time? Almost time.
Very, very close.
What time? Where are we? I don't even know. I apologize. I wasn't even keeping an eye on the time. Blabbing away, right?
Yep, it's 7:59. I keep my watch 5 minutes.
Yep, 5 minutes.
I keep my watch fast, but it doesn't help because I know it's fast.
I didn't even know if you could still do that unless you have a wind-up watch.
Yeah. I don't have anything atomic. I set the time.
Yeah, my crazy ass watch does just about everything, and I can't work it.
Yeah, I don't wear any type of Fitbit or smartwatch. I don't know.
I bought the Garmin, and it literally tells you everything: how long you're sleeping, how long you're in this kind of sleep, that sleep, how many steps you've done. You name it, it does it.
My husband's
But-
obsessed with his. Oh my God.
And now that I'm blind, I have to wear my glasses to see it. So
I'm with you,
God's
honey.
joke. It's God's joke. My arm isn't long enough anymore.
I'd love to know what my iPhone says in terms of steps, because with all the homeschooling and everything, I moved all of this equipment. You know, in salon, we have, you know, ring lights and stuff. So everything's moved up to my attic, which used to be the playroom that the kids don't use. So between going up and down the stairs every single day, I'm like, man, except my wife who's on now, I'm like, my hip's killing me. And she's like, yeah, well, you probably did about 4,000 stairs just yesterday going back up and down. The printer's in the basement. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is like.
See, Iva's in here, Dawn Marie, Jody Tupper, Sally. Stratland's in, another Jersey boy in Asbury Park.
All right. Yeah. Hi, Steven.
Steve.
What's up, Steven?
He's writing sup. We are Jersey, let me tell you.
Well, you know what? When we have our party, we'll get Steve's band to play.
Yeah,
So
there
I
you
don't
go.
know if you guys know that he plays in a band too. So
Nikki's
cool.
saying she thinks a lot of people are going to be a little delayed because of World Prayer.
Yeah, it's okay. Jackie's in here.
About 10 minutes. Too bad we couldn't dub stream.
Says Patti Meade's in here.
I am in there. I just typed a message.
I know, teasing.
Hey, everybody. I'm too ADD. I have to be on everything.
Lisa's in here. Lisa, thanks for sending all the people to the group, by the way, if you
All
can
right.
hear me.
We're getting Indiana on here. Nice.
Sally's on from Jersey too.
Yeah, that's my girl. She's my partner in crime. Love you, Sally girl.
Jersey should have its own show again. Remember when we used to have the show in Atlantic City? That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. I know.
The hell with New York. Let's move it to Atlantic City and have fun.
Sadly enough, on that note, tonight we should have been at the Hard Rock Hotel with the Art of Business event tonight. That would have been their show tonight, and they had to cancel it. There was 700 people, I think they were expecting.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we had to push it back to October. So shout out to Art of Business tonight. Cheers to them. I'm gonna have to give them on camera cheers because we would have been down there at the party at the nightclub tonight.
Oh yeah, right. We would be at the Hard Rock right
Cheers,
now.
guys.
Yep. Cheers.
Are any of the Art of Business guys on right now? Is Josh on or no?
I didn't see him sign on. No. Maybe I'll hit him up.
So we'll see.
Let me see if he's coming
I
on.
didn't even know I could pop up during a Zoom. I think that's yours, Patty. That message on the screen because you're doing screen share. I thought it was mine. Cheryl sent you a friend request.
I'll be getting that shit all night.
I'm like, how'd that pop up on my screen? That's funny.
That freaked you out a little bit. I didn't turn my notifications off. Crap. It's organic. Let's let it be, right? A little bit of comedy.
Cool. People are starting to join on now. Yeah, we may have a few late starters here, I guess. That might be Andrew. I heard somebody popping in.
Yeah, I heard.
There is Andrew.
Hey,
Andrew.
Hey,
How's it
Andrew.
going?
hey there, Patty.
Hey, Andrew. How you doing?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. Very happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So talk about a guy that's been working hard. Andrew has been putting together the schedules behind the scenes. And oh my God, poor Andrew.
Oh, it's great. I met someone today from North Carolina who she's great. I mean, never heard of her, but she has a booth rental salon, and she's wonderful how she looks at things and how she builds the booth renters.
Really?
Very different. Very
So
different.
Andrew, is she the one that has the split business where the front is regular? She builds
No,
them in the
no,
in
no,
the
no,
booth
no. She has a
rental? Okay.
tiny business in North Carolina. She's originally from New York, and she's been a hairdresser for 30 years, and she now takes apprentices for herself,
Mhm.
builds them, trains them, and then rents to them. So they have a following, by the
Mhm.
time they've worked with her, and they take a booth. It's a small place, and
Excuse me, Andrew. There's Josh. Josh,
Yeah,
we were just talking
I
talking
just
about
sent
you
him.
nicely.
So Josh, I'm sending out like a raising a glass to you guys because we should have been sitting at the Hard Rock tonight, enjoying the Art of Business event. So
Cheers to
kudos.
the Art of Business event. We're doing
yeah,
it virtually tonight,
Yes,
right?
we're looking forward to
Look at me. I have an
October.
invisible glass.
Looking forward to October.
anyway, I'll tell you more about it because it's really quite fascinating.
Yeah, and before we start, we got a really nice letter today, Andrew, I want to share with you, emailed to me, just from one of the people that has been watching on a regular basis and how much this has changed her life and her perspective with her business. And I just love it. I love that we're actually making a difference for people.
It's great.
The bomber.
How you doing, Mr. James?
Doing. We're ready
You
to go.
doing? What you
Patty,
teach?
do you mind if we wait another 10 minutes just to let the
Not
prayer
at all.
be
No,
done?
not at all.
And,
I'd rather,
the Pope,
kind of do
the
it.
Pope is giving a prayer right now. So
Okay.
I want to tune into that.
Yeah,
Check that out.
I told Patty that we both come from Mets. We both limp along as Mets families. But my New York shirt is on for my friends in New York. Hopefully, this surge happens quickly and easily this weekend, and we can start this flattening of the curve. So everybody, fingers crossed, it happens in Jersey next week, about 5 days from now. So hopefully, this social distancing and people that close their salons and everything, that we actually see some results. So everybody, our prayers
Yeah.
are with you on this side too, and we hope everybody's well and staying safe.
Absolutely. It's still hard to believe. This is like we're part of a movie or something.
it is, right?
We are.
Layla,
We,
thank you so much, Layla, for the
we're all part of a movie.
I know.
Absolutely. It's just a different script.
But wait, Andrew, who do you think's going to play me in the movie?
Robert De Niro.
I was going to say.
Beth Minardi. I thought that would be fun. Oh boy.
James, don't say a word.
I'm just,
Incredible.
James isn't saying a word.
there's so many things in my brain right now.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
James, is your background symbolic of what's going on in your brain?
You know what? Always, Andrew. Always.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff, no problem. Go ahead and share the link. It's fine. Remember, the link changes every night. So if you want to share it with your group tonight, that's fine. Yes, BBR is the password.
Yeah, and so everybody knows. I don't know. It's crazy between Jeff and Nikki Lee trying to navigate all these acronyms for all these crazy loans. You guys put up some
Aww.
great information. Hopefully, I feel like it quelled all of these crazy questions that happened because of two of you guys. And you guys should probably meet if you haven't, because Jeff did the nice infographic side. Nikki did, I don't even know how many hours poor Nikki was on Zoom talking about the loan. Matter of fact, they should hire her afterwards. I think that if anybody's listening from the SBA or PPP or EDIL or any one of these, Nikki is definitely somebody you guys should bring on board to onboard
Absolutely.
everybody, right? She's great.
Well,
She just knows
and you know
all.
what? After all this, I think that all of us coaches that go through this, the 30 of us, I think there will be eventually, or maybe even more. I think we should form our own body so that we have a voice in the industry, whether it's a voice that coincides with the PBA and the Intercoiffure. I think it's time that we step up as industry educators and leaders and make these politicians get their head out of their asses, especially the state boards.
Yeah. The
there's
state
still
board is
there's still
unbelievable.
states that aren't closed. I don't know. As of, I guess, every time you hear information, it's always a day late. But I guess as of yesterday, there were still like 7 or 8 states that didn't close hair salons yet.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. And all it's doing is delaying us getting back to work, right? If you
Yeah.
got to do it, close, flatten the curve, then let's get this country back to work and productive again.
Mhm.
I guess they don't have to get back to work. They're working. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dum-bum.
But what's going to happen?
there are some
You know what's going to happen? It's going to roll to different areas,
maybe,
Andrew. That's the issue.
maybe. We'll see. We will see. But we have to get back to work here, I'll tell you. It is craziness in New York City. For those of you who are here with me,
Mary's got to be cracking up. Mary's cracking up. She knows how I speak, right? Get your head out of your ass.
She's commenting.
Yeah, you get me and Beth together on a roll. Forget about it.
Where was Gino last night? I was messaging him and I was commenting. I didn't talk to him though.
No idea. Nikki, where was Gino last night? Hiding?
we have some big Nikki fans here on the.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like our messiah right now with all this
Thank
tax
you. I
stuff.
couldn't have figured out without you. You've been so informative.
Absolutely.
Prepared me for my bank. Yes, state boards suck, says Linda.
Not only the state board, but Wells Fargo, the last bank, my freaking bank, is still doesn't have this shit online. So
They don't have
I'm
the
so
loan
pissed
yet?
off as a hornet.
We forgot to hitch the horses to the wagon, man.
Exactly. It's time to switch to Bank of America, the first one that was available, right? So
Yeah, that's my bank.
Yeah, Mary Wilson posted Iowa's still open. I know Linda's saying no word from Wisconsin. They're hearing crickets, but it's crazy that Amazon workers will strike, right? It's figure like Trader Joe's and Amazon. I drove by. There's a Trader Joe's around the corner from the salon, so I had to stop to pick up some mail and everything. And that 6-foot distancing they're following, but they're only letting like 5 people in the store at the same time. So when I cut through the side street, there's people lined up like they're on strike. So right away, I'm like, what the hell is going on? They were waiting to get into Trader Joe's. I swear to you, there had to be about 110 people in line. That it was confusing what they were even doing, but that's.
you know why they were going there, right,
Took me
James?
an hour
So
yesterday. James, yes,
And the
Trader
$5 chuck?
Joe's has
One hour.
$3 chuck, exactly.
in line. But I'll tell you one thing. Once I got in, it was really nice. There were no people around. Usually Trader Joe's packed.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job.
Had plenty of stuff.
Hmm.
Plenty of stuff. I did get there early, but I still had to wait an hour. And they were really nice. What can I say? And there's a hospital near where this Trader Joe's is, and they let people, if you worked in the hospital, you got a special pass. So that was
Oh,
happening.
that's nice.
Yeah, it was
Shannon,
really nice.
I have a quick answer for one of our people asking a question. Shannon asked the question, what do you do if your bank is not participating? Shannon, most of the banks are only giving it to people that have a business account with them, but there are a couple online companies such as Cabbage and Fundera that are actually giving out the paycheck protection loans right now. So if you don't bank with a bank that your business account is able to access these loans, jump on one of the online ones. The two available right now, like I said, are Fundera and Cabbage. Order Jersey Mike's. Oh my God, I was in Jersey Mike's in Belmar yesterday.
Hey, shout out to my girl Tina from Art of Business. She's my rep.
All right, Tina. Hi, Tina.
It's good to know from Nancy Farrell, for you Canadians, ABA is helping in Canada. So that's the news from up north.
On Facebook, Jessica said, do you know that you have to choose between EDIL and the PPP? No, Shannon, or Jessica, you can get both loans, and definitely fill out both. Also fill out the one for the $10,000 immediate bridge loan, which will give you an advance on the EDIL loan.
Yeah, Jessica, just to clarify a little bit, if you do the PPP, you just have to select that it will only be used for payroll, and then everything else can be under the EDIL.
Correct.
So
Bart Foreman's
I
on.
learned
Hey,
something,
Bart,
Nikki.
long time no see. There's your buddy, Andrew.
Hey, Bart. Good to see you.
Okay, so we got 8:15.
Yes,
Does anybody know if the Pope's prayer is done yet? Online? Anybody on Facebook? Let us know.
Yeah, I tried to search it, but I couldn't get it up. Anybody?
So you got about 125 people right now
Okay.
on, just letting you know. We're going to hardline it for 5 minutes from now. So it's 8:15, 8:20. We're going to get started regardless. Hey, Steve, Stephen Gomez just joined.
Hey, Steve. How's things out there after the earthquake? Crazy stuff going on.
Wasn't that at Philip and Mary's house? Weren't they right
Yeah.
at the earthquake?
Yes, they
the
were.
epicenter. I understand the Wilsons were the epicenter of the earthquake.
They were the cause of it. They caused the earthquake.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what I figured.
Getting that
You're
skunk
actually
out
wrong.
of the garage caused the earthquake.
Andrew, it actually started in my house, and we sent it right directly to their house. It was like War of the Worlds.
God.
Right from underground.
Funny.
Hilarious.
Exactly. Very, very funny stuff. I got to tell you, I love being with all you guys. Love it.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels
been a fun
like
time.
we created this big family out of nowhere, right? And
Absolutely.
it's very exciting. I hope it's exciting for the audience also. We have a lot of good jokes, a lot of good times, aside from the serious education. And it's really cool, really cool.
It's a cool thing about our industry because we just feel like you know the people. Once you meet them, it's like they're friends immediately. It's a great feeling. Yeah.
Well, that's what makes the industry great. And Beth nailed it last night.
She did, in many ways. And honestly, it's so true. We all know that the heart of this industry, as far away as we are, we all know what's going on. This industry is big, but you always know all the rumors and what's going on with everybody, right? And now we've created this virtual thing of doing it, right? And I think this is going to be a wave for the future, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, we all feel like we're hanging out in each other's living room.
That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah.
Teaching, having some wine, right? Or whatever, and just having a good time. It's exciting stuff.
I love the comment from G. Miller. Hi, G. Miller. Look forward to this every night. Love it.
D, that's my virtual background. If you can see, watch my glass disappear. I'll hold it in the green screen. Let's see if we can get it to this. There it goes. It disappeared.
Oh my God! What an addition you are, man.
So how do you fabricate the green screen? I'm intrigued.
So if you have a Zoom account, down on the bottom left of the bar where where it says stop or start video.
Yeah, I jumped in, but I don't have a
button.
green screen, so I couldn't fabricate it.
Yeah, so there's a little thing next to your mic and the camera button. If you click that arrow, it'll say set virtual background, and you could pick a virtual background for yourself.
But when I tried to do it, it said I needed a blank, like a plain screen behind me.
You know, yeah. So it's, you know, you could try it anyway.
You need like, yeah, it integrated with my screen behind me, but it was all modeled up. So I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I have the Pro. I have a very expensive Zoom account, so it gives me a little bit more.
Oh, you have the.
Because Andrew was on the beach the other day, so I was really jealous.
Right. That was my own. That was my son's photograph.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a paid Zoom account, a Pro account or above, you can do it without an actual blank background.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna have to upgrade now. I'm jealous.
The Pro account is only like $20.
Save on the jealousy.
Yeah, I'm having like FOMO over Zoom.
Erin, thank you so much.
Hey, Andrea said it works with free accounts too. Thank you, Andrea. See,
All
Oh,
right.
does it? Okay.
that's
Yeah, because it let me choose, but like I said, I couldn't get it to really integrate correctly. It wasn't working. It was all
Yeah, and
mocked up.
I downloaded a bunch of pictures for the backgrounds, and it's pretty neat how it does it.
Yeah,
Like I
because
got
that's what
these
I did. I
plain
loaded one of my
backgrounds.
own photos. Yeah, I loaded one of my
I
own
got
backgrounds.
No, it's fun. It's fun. I got these plain backgrounds from a real estate investor who, acts like he's like, a gazillionaire, right? And I thought I thought he was really sitting on a plane, and he's like, no, dude, it's my Zoom green screen. So very funny. I'm gonna do the Bat Cave now though, so because we're same bat time, same bat channel, right, for the next 30 days.
You totally
Talk
should do
about
that.
Groundhog Day, right, Andrew?
you got it, bud.
But it's got to be like this. It's got to be the '60s Batcave, right, with the huge penny and the dinosaur. It can't be like this modern Batcave with all the.
Oh no,
overhead
it's
lighting
got to
and
be
everything.
either that, or we could get Batman and Robin doing that funky dance they did.
Oh, even better. You and Andrew should dress up like Batman and Robin.
That would be funny.
But it's
Maybe.
got to be
Robert
the tights
Reed,
version.
Robert.
It can't be the
I'll check
armor
on
version. It's
Amazon
gotta
to
be
see if they have the
tights and-
costumes.
yeah.
But you
You
know,
put me,
Derek,
put me in those leotards, and people are going to be laughing hard.
Derek, hey, Patty's husband. It's
Hey, Paulie's on here.
there you go.
That's very funny.
Your wife's great.
Aww.
It's true. So Derek and I
Okay.
have this running thing because Derek knows I eat late.
So do I.
Oh,
And
no, you don't eat late. Your wife eats late, and you cook late.
but she doesn't like to eat late. It's just because I've been cooking late. So today we had a big powwow and we've shifted. I am cooking early. And so we're eating
Wow.
before this. Big-
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness, Andrew, I don't know how to act with that.
Now I know you don't,
So
Derek.
just so everybody knows, Andrew usually cooks about 8 o'clock, and they eat at like 9 o'clock, and it's kind of funny. And I'm always
My
like,
wife's
okay,
Italian, you know. I should say real Italian. Yeah.
Well, don't Italians eat all day?
Only on Sunday.
Hey,
Okay, yeah, exactly. The family gathering.
hey,
We
guys,
just got an update on the Pope here.
Yeah, Nancy said it's going to be a while.
Okay, well,
So
bless-
if,
Let's hit it.
so
Started.
James, why don't you give the blessing to the group instead of the Pope, and we'll get going here.
No, you know what, and absolutely, we're really fortunate that we're able to come together like this, guys. I know it's a really tight knit industry, as Derek said earlier. It's a lot smaller of an industry than everybody thinks it is, and I'm sure everybody on here, we've all bumped into each other and met at different events, and I'm glad that everyone here is looking at the end of this. We hope everybody is safe and well. As I mentioned before, we're thinking of our people in New York, which is very close to all of us here. Andrew is right in New York. Patty and I are very close. Derek is here in New Jersey as well. So our hearts are with them. We know it's going to be rough this next couple of days as they peak. But hopefully, props to Governor Cuomo. He's done a great job in keeping the area informed. And hopefully they're a benchmark for what this is going to look like and how long it's going to last. But our hearts go out to any of you that have dealt with COVID-19, whether it's family or friends. Where we are in northern New Jersey, we're starting to get some things trickle in now where it's getting really close to us in terms of our neighbors, brothers, and things like that. So fingers crossed. Obviously, I hope none of us have to deal with it personally at home, but I know it's going to get a lot closer. So our hearts and prayers go out to you. Guys, thanks for joining us. I know everyone had done a moment of silence today because we finally passed the death toll of 9/11. So if you guys would be so kind, even just a quick 10 seconds, we want to just give a moment of silence for tonight.
Yeah, let's all be quiet for 10 seconds and prayers to everybody. Okay, guys, God bless. With that, let's get started here. Tonight's Beauty Business Reset is going to be exciting as usual. We have Patti Meade on as our educator for this evening, and I'm very excited to get Patti started. Sorry we went a little late here, but it was for an important reason. And you got to see the before show, which is kind of funny. That's the fun, right? We want to keep this lighthearted, yet we want you to learn a lot. And that's why we've got this great list of educators. And now Andrew is letting me know that we're going to be going for at least 30 days straight now. So we've really got this thing rolling for all of you. Just absolutely love it. With that, want to get Patti kicked off. Patti Meade, it's all yours.
Great. Thank you so much, Derek. I can't thank everybody enough on this platform. It's been an amazing week learning and loving each other. And it's been such a cool thing being on this platform with educators that I thought were so far above me and standing, you know, shoulder to shoulder and bringing our messages. Because right now, I know probably everybody on this panel and a lot of you out there, the day that we got shut down in New Jersey, I had about 27 salon owners reaching out to me that day. And everybody was just, their worlds were rocked. Everybody felt like the rug was pulled out from under us. And I don't think we all thought that it would get to this point. You know, so when the idea came up, and Nikki, thank you for throwing my name, my hat in the ring, to get on here and to get together with our salon owners from everywhere and just give them a chance to feel like they're part of something bigger. It's like been a big hug on here. You know, Nikki's on there every day, like cheering us all on and telling us it's okay and being the bulldog. And, you know, she's been out there putting herself out there. Nikki, you are the bomb. And, you know, Derek, just for shouldering all of the technology, and Andrew, it's been great bringing this group together, you know, and I was brought in to do something that's a little different than most of the presenters on here, but I think it's going to be pretty much appreciated by most. As a salon owner, you know, I own Technique Salon in East Brunswick, New Jersey. I've been an owner for 23 years, and I've been a stylist for 34. And I've learned and listened and taken, you know, boundless education. A big shout out to my art of business, you know, my Raylon family. Josh, I know you're out there. Howard, I hope you're there too. You know, my business education started way back. And my goal of being a hairdresser was also to have a channel to be a business owner. I have a business degree. I did go to college. So, you know, I have a little different angle. I come from a family of accountants. I love numbers, so I'm a little odd. I love Stephen Gomez, my coach. Thank you, Stephen. He shows me the numbers and keeps me honest. But it's been a journey, you know, and my message with my program tonight is to gear this program to the salon owner as well as the stylist who it was made for, to really give you something that maybe you're not doing in your training programs. Maybe you're not focusing on this with your team. And these are the minutiae that are so important. This stuff has to be something that they can follow. And it has to be something that people coming into the industry and people, even what I like to call failure to launch, which is part of what I teach in this segment, is the hairdressers that you meet that come to you maybe 3, 5, 6 years in and say, you know what, I never made it. Or we lost them and they went out of the industry and they became phlebotomists and, you know, admins and medical offices because they didn't get the chance. They didn't get the blueprint. They didn't get, you know, what is it like to stand behind the chair and be with that guest? We just talk about cutting hair and coloring hair, but you know what, the skill set is so important. And we have so many artistic people in our industry, but the systems behind what that skill is and how you present it and create a relationship in the guest is so paramount to your success in the industry. And it's paramount to driving your numbers. And it's paramount to giving your team some guidelines and some benchmarks and to let them know, hey, this is it. This is the blueprint. If you can aspire to this and do this, this, and this, along with your personality and your skill set, sky's the limit. So let's begin the program. At any time, please, you know, shout out some questions. James and Derek are going to be my eyes and ears on that side. I'm going to try to pause here and there. There's a lot of content. I'm going to touch base quickly on some things. I may slow down, I may speed up, and I may jump through, just in respect to your time and not being on so long tonight. I do appreciate everybody taking their time on a Sunday night. I hope you're all enjoying a glass of wine because I am. It's been a long week. So let's go through. So, you know, the name of my company is T School for Salons, and it's just a small company that I basically put together a couple years ago because I really love being an educator. And the thought of just being able to share systems and write curriculums for the things that we do every day and simplify it for the salon industry and make it seem not so unsurmountable. That was my goal, is to just share my passion, share my knowledge. I'm a big nerd, career student, love to take notes, love to write curriculum. I love to put things on paper. You know, me and James have been talking about being digital, but I love it. I love, you know, I love all of this stuff. I love the technology. And, you know, it's really exciting to be able to put something down and then share it with people and see the light go on, or just see the gratitude in their face when you shared something that resonated with them. So the first slide that I put up, I just put a quote that I found that I thought was relevant. A leader's job is to look into the future and see the organization not as it is, but as it should be. And that's very interesting, because I think right now, most of us, our glasses are a little clouded as business owners. And I think we're just seeing all of the things we didn't do and how we were unprepared and how maybe we didn't have our dollars and cents in order. Maybe we didn't have 3 months cost in the bank. And you know what? That's okay. You're human. And thankfully now, things are going to be okay. We're panning this out. This gives us a chance to really examine. It's a good pause for us. And we're going to take this time to kind of figure out what can we be better. And, you know, Nikki's right there helping us. The government is giving funding. You know, our teams have really been stepping up. So I think that we should just wipe our glasses off and now really look at our organization as we want it to be, not as what it has been if something wasn't right. And if you were right on all along, then you're going to steamroll right through this. So basically the line here that I put is it all starts with our teams. So we're going to jump right in. So let me just get my screen up because I'm a little frozen here. There we go. So when you're talking with your associates or your children, or even your spouse, anybody in your life, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. I think our industry is so paramount to the fact of we are so visual and so tactile, and we need everything to be, you know, basically acted out, and we need to do it ourselves. As an educator, my philosophy is repetition. Repetition's the best teacher, because the more you do something, the more automatic it's going to become. You know, it's like, I don't know if many of you follow, but like the philosophy of Michael Phelps and his swimming career. You know, his coach, they did visualization and they called it watching the video. And every night before he went to bed, he went through the visualization of everything he was going to do that day in his event when he swam. And he lived it in his mind every single night. And then when he went to perform it, it was a repetition. So I think teaching our teams, role playing some of these systems and doing things with them, making it fun, it's a little uncomfortable, is going to involve them enough, and they're going to learn. They're going to learn not just by sitting in a room and listening to someone talk to them about it. So this is the secret playbook. I just surnamed it that this week. I thought it was really cool because I've looked at this presentation so many times, and sometimes I wanted to call it like 10 years experience, like being behind the chair this long and knowing all these things. The first month, year, you know, couple years that you're in the industry, it would have been so helpful to not take me, you know, 34 years to get all this down as my game. So let's jump right in. We're going to attract, capture, and thrive. So the acronym came up, and I'm going to split it down into just very elemental steps, and we're going to talk about what it means. So this is the package. So when you're with your teams or yourself as a beauty professional, some of the biggest things that this program was written for is people come into the industry and don't know how to launch themselves. They get opportunities in salons, but they don't get busy. And, you know, I aspire to so many great people before me, Michael Cole, you know, waiting for the busy bus and all those things. I believe a lot in visualization and affirmation. So the first thing on my list is the ideal client vision. And a lot of people don't really think about that. It's like when you ask somebody, well, you know, what do you want to do? And what do they normally say? I want to make money. Well, you know, money is one thing, but you have to figure out your why behind you need that money. So the ideal client vision is really about thinking in your mind, what do you see that's going to be a demographic that's going to mirror you, and that's going to become a part of the relationships you're building? Who are the people that you want to hang out with? Who are the people that are going to become your clients year 1, year 5, year 10, year 20? You know, you're making relationships. When I'm with a guest and I do a consult, I always have a fun way. And at the end, I talk to them about everything we're doing, and I reiterate back what our goals are. And when I do that, I usually say, I just want to make sure that we're clear because I'm going to marry you today. And they always laugh for a minute. But I mean that. I mean that because you're creating that relationship. And those of us that have been behind the chair, we know what that means. We know what that means. And we know what an honor and a privilege it is for someone to sit in our chair defenseless and let us go at them with a couple of sharp instruments and a couple of bottles of chemical. You know, it's a vulnerable place for people. And for them to give you that trust is a gift. And it's a gift that we should hold in the highest standard. So the ideal client vision basically is putting down on paper even, or, you know, just visualizing something. Where do I want my clients to come from? Do I want to do young people that have very funky shaped haircuts with lots of different colors? Do I want to do like the mom that really needs that extra love and care? What do I want? You know, getting a vision in your mind really affirms kind of what you're going to start to attract in your chair. They say that the average stylist, you know, I love statistics, attracts 10 years above and 10 years below. So if you're a 30-year stylist, you're probably attracting somebody from 30 to 40 or, you know, 20 to 30, and you're staying in that zone. I remember one of my very first business coaches, I think I was in year 5, and I had a great salon, and all of a sudden around prom time, we were like, where are the prom girls? You know, and not as many. Some of them all grew up. Like, a lot of our clients are a little older. And my business coach said to me, you know, your salon is great right now, but are you looking at the demographic? And I said, well, what do you mean? We have plenty of clients. People refer to us. And they said, yeah, but you know what? If you continue on this path, you're seeing some of your clients aging out. So in 10 years, you're going to need to move your salon to the assisted living facility. And that scared the hell out of me because I didn't really think about it. You know, as a salon owner, you're just going at 100 miles an hour. And I said, well, talk more about that with me. So he said, you know, you need to figure out how you can attract different age groups and what vibe are you sending out? Is it comfortable? And we were realizing that once our clients' kids reached like mid high school, college age, we weren't cool enough anymore. And they left, you know? So if you're in a salon right now and you're not really sure, think about that for a little while. Maybe you haven't really looked at what is our demographic? What's the vibe? So we decided to change our vibe. We're very close to Rutgers, and we thought, let's try to get into that climate. Let's try to bring the demographic down and change the vision. And it's quite interesting. So as a salon owner and as a stylist, I think ideal client vision is very important to know. You know, with Jackie's performance, I love Jackie's class. Jackie, girl, the stuff you gave out the other night was amazing. I can't wait to share it with my team. And I can't wait to redo my menu because you ignited something in us that's going to be amazing for our reopen. But knowing who you want to service and knowing who you are as a salon and as a salon team, you know, the vibe that you're giving out, you know?
Patty, I have a quick comment. I just love where you kick that right into, right? The why. Money is not your why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Money is an outcome.
Absolutely.
Love that. Love what you just hit there. I wanted to let you know that. And there are people just jumping in and obviously agreeing with everything you're saying right now. I'm not going to keep you, so I just wanted to put that out there quickly. I love that statement. It's not your why, it's an outcome, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, as we say, you know, Stephen Gomez and I had a conversation about that. You know, it's if you want to know the definition of rich, find something you love and make money at it. You know, if you do something you love and it's a career, the money will follow. Those that focus on the money tend to usually be lack, like they usually don't get there because their why is different. You know, if you're in it for the person and for the craft and you're a good soul and you do good with your guests as far as creating relationships, the sky's the limit. You know, Gino, who has been the biggest inspiration to me as a speaker, the storytelling and just the fun that he shares about, you know, doing the same haircut on everyone and rushing them out the door so they all didn't know they looked alike, you know? So knowing that you didn't have to be the rock star platform artist hairdresser, but people are going to love you for what you do because of the relationship and the value that you're bringing, you know? And I always say as an, you know, in the economy end, you know, people don't question price until value is not received. So if you are getting, you know, problems with guests and they're questioning your pricing, then look at the value they're receiving. You know, I've been on a mastermind with Christine Zielinski. Christine, you're my girl. Think and Grow Rich. You guys know it, maybe, Napoleon Hill. One of the biggest things that I read in that book this past week was If the end of the year, if you looked back and had to purchase your own services, would you be happy with what you spent your money on? Wow. Wow. Who talked about the other night, we don't purchase our own services. We don't even pay full price for our products. We get our hair done by our peers. How does the value change? I know Jackie spoke about that. Go get a service somewhere else. See what that's like. See what it's like to put the money on the value and then examine where you're coming from. So moving straight on, I'm going to talk about the concentric circle, and we're going to break that down a little bit. We're also going to talk about events and things like that. That's kind of like the who and the where. How are we getting clients? How are we attracting? We're going to talk a teeny bit, very light, about discount versus free. I only have one slide. It's going to be 2 seconds. We're going to talk about looking the part, the script for what you do, of course, business cards, which is kind of a little bit of a gray matter right now, but I'm going to give you my 2 cents. We're going to talk about asking, which is something that I think in every walk of life and every relationship we struggle with. And we're going to talk about social media, some things about lookbooks, which is a term from the old beauty school days. Remember everybody saying, you have a lookbook? Make your little photo album with the sticky pages. Tutorials and tips, fashion and videos, before and afters, blogs and vlogs, and Pinterest boards. So is there anything in the queue that anybody's shouting out, James or Derek, that I should jump on, or are we good to go?
No, everybody's been commenting about the thought of, Shannon just said that's her thought, would I pay for the service? And I think that we've talked about this a few times over the last week, that, this pandemic for the salon industry is going to change where we spend our money. So I know you and I have the same distributor, and we love Josh and Howard, and, Art of Business has always been good to us, and I'm sure you'd have the same experience. But there's plenty of things in my daily life that I just won't spend money anymore, whether the emails were confusing. I jokingly said furniture emails. Why are you so worried about my COVID-19 experience? Discounts, right? It's so funny. Discounts. I get more discounts. I said, where were you 3 months ago after the holidays when I'm like, hey, I could have used the discount, man. I got 3 kids.
Yeah.
So it's going to definitely change. And I think that's what everybody needs to look at for their services. Like, your clients are sort of in the same position. They're going to definitely miss you, but what are they looking for next?
I think what you just sounded like, James, is that you're a little jaded now. Now like a little too late, and are our clients going to feel that way? We talked about price increases. We put into effect a across the board price increase on March 1, and we decided to do a rollback, and not increase that price. And we're thinking about pulling it back until probably about September, just to show some love. It's just, right now you got to kind of figure out where you're going to be, and you got to make it work for your guests. And we had this, 2010 going into 2011, we hit, we were in a bad economy then. And, we were shaking in our boots about what we were going to do, but learning how to talk to the guest and make it work for them, and not make them feel small or, discounted, and that they're embarrassed that they had to go away because their husband got downsized and everybody lost the money in the market, and that happened to all of us 10 years ago. And it was very interesting, really getting to that part. So we're going to talk about that a little bit when we go through the consult process. So I'm going to jump to the next screen. So this is a quick ditty, and I love to teach this to juniors, even regular stylists, because, sometimes people don't account for it, but you always have attrition. People die, people move, people find someone else, someone in their family becomes a hairdresser, they're supporting someone, a relative. So people say, where do I get my clients? All the time I hear this, salon owners, how can I get my juniors busy? Or maybe I'm opening a new location and I need my team to be my mavens. I need them to be my brand warriors, and I need them to be going out, and I need them to be representing and harvesting for the salon. And I think a lot of us take for granted that we just come in and the salon's going to facilitate, and the reputation's going to work, and the social media. And I have a good bit on that when we get to that. So just going through this quickly as an exercise is always very telling, and it's a huge breakout that I do with them. So the 5 people you know. So we force them to write down 5 people they know. And usually they go right to their husband, wife, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, go beyond that. Go to 5, 5 people you know, and 5 people that you like and that you want people like them. Then 3 places you go every week. Not your home and not your work, but other places. Name 2 restaurants. Name your family. I love Gino's bit on, do you cut your husband's hair? When was the last time he brought you a customer? That is golden. It's true. We take for granted that we don't always need business, but we do. And we don't really allow ourselves, I think it's a pride, and that maybe we think that, oh, we're good, we're good, but we always need to be harvesting. So when your family's out there, they've got to be a representation of your business too. We're small business America, baby. We're Main Street USA. We're the ones that are in the the communities every day. Your social media friends. A good share on this was, I have a young team member that was building. She came to me in an apprentice stylist mode, and she was trying to build her business on social media because the teammate next to her made this balayage rock star, Instagram. And I've never had someone in my employ gain as much client base off of a balayage, platform as her. And we were blown away by it. It was a success. Someone else next to her trying to emulate it, we sat down in a huddle and said, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. I'm doing the social media. I'm posting my things. I'm putting my work up. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about it. What else is happening around that? Well, it turns out we went to the fact of who was her audience on social media. Most of the people that were in her audience didn't even live near her. They weren't her demographic. They were from, relatives. Like she kept playing to an audience that couldn't even spend money with her. And she never thought about it. She just thought if she was putting it on there, she was probably getting something through a hashtag or whatever, but she didn't really understand that. So that's a big piece that a lot of social media, I don't think everybody always thinks about. We just think we're doing a good job as hairdressers if we put a couple of our pretty pictures up and we're going to get guests. So your concentric circle is very big. As far as clients, are you talking to them about getting business? And we're going to go more into that. And of course, groups and teams. Groups. How many Facebook groups are there now? How many groups do your team engage on? Mom groups in your community, all the teen groups, anything that's going on at your high schools, they all have groups now. Get on every one of those pages and follow those Instagram accounts. It's unbelievable. The shout outs, when they have their proms, go on those pages and talk to those kids. Go on the pages for the beauty schools and follow the kids that are in the trainings now that are starting to post their work and give them words of encouragement. Your concentric circle on social media is unbelievable. The touch points and the reach, if you know how to harvest and go through, just jump on these sites and engage with the people that you want to attract, whether it's recruiting clients, recruiting your team members, or just maybe getting some type of brand awareness in your community. When you get through these groups and teams, you wouldn't believe it. Support your teams, support your local groups for tricky trays and all of that stuff, because your concentric circle goes miles and miles. So let's jump to the next. So this is the attract portion. So the one thing I like to say is to reflect beauty all the time. When you see someone for the first time, the first thing you notice is body shape and hair. You don't see anything else at first except for that. You're walking down the street, body shape, hair, body shape, hair. Sometimes hair precedes body shape. It depends how outlandish it is. But it's so true. So when you're walking around on a daily, what are you attracting? What's your vibe? Whether it's, what could be anything. It could be casual chic. It could be business model, whatever it is, dressing to impress, be updated. Don't walk around with 6-inch roots. Don't not do your hair and just go to work in a ponytail every day. And make sure you have a clean face. Maybe you don't need a lot of makeup, but as a woman, they want to see that you take care of yourself because you're going to take care of them. So that impression I've seen a lot in the industry in 34 years. I've been hiring for 23 as a salon owner. And I've had to say at one time about 4 years ago, I never did it before, but I was in an interview and a young girl came in and she was in sweatpants and her hair wasn't done and her clothes looked like they were rumpled and dirty. And I brought her in and I greeted her and I started to do my regular, warm and friendly. And I just said, I just have to stop. And she just looked at me and she said, what's wrong? I said, I really need to stop the interview. And she goes, I don't understand. I said, well, we're here to represent beauty. And the fact that you came to the interview dressed so casually and your hair and makeup so undone really just shows me that you didn't respect enough to yourself or myself to come ready for an interview. And she looked at me and it was really crazy to say it, but it was so valid. And she said, well, I really didn't know what type of salon it was. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, is that an insult to me because you didn't respect yourself enough? So I said, she goes, I could go home and change. And I said, it's okay. I said, I'm really sorry. I know you're probably a little upset, but I really feel at this point in her life, that girl will never forget me. And she'll never forget that instance in life that she didn't have the respect for herself or for where she was going to put out her best, her best look, her best game. She needed to bring her game. She didn't. So when you're attracting, it's important. It's important. 3 seconds. They used to say 7, 3 seconds, impression, boom. You jump on here, you see my face, you see my hair, boom, impression. You see Derek sitting in his Learjet, impression. You see James with his wall behind him. Oh my goodness. You see all of us, you have an impression. You could probably put a word to each one of us in a minute and just give us, 3 words to describe what we're representing. So when you're out there, look the part of what you want to attract. As we used to say, I remember my teacher in beauty school, dress like the money you want to make. You want to drive a Ferrari, dress like a Ferrari. You want people to look at a certain thing, and it's the same way when you're doing your client vision. If you're looking for people, we always joke, but there's a branding exercise. If you were a car, what car would you be? If you were a brand, what brand you would be? So make sure you align yourself. If you want to be an Armani, then align yourself with that. And don't be a snob about it, but just be true to what you want to aspire to be. So here's the next segment, carrying your cards. Now, some people say that cards aren't out there anymore. We're trying to be eco-conscious, and I get that. But I think cards still give a value and an ownership. I know that I've spoken to people in the industry, and having a great business card is pretty impressive, and giving them out with tips. What does that mean? So when you have great service in any service industry, you should be wooing them. A great waitress, how many of us want to recruit them to be our front desk, when you meet someone that's awesome and you want to say to them, I always give a couple cards and I say, and we have a card with an offer. It's a first time client offer. It's $20 off. But I want to say to them, thank you so much for your great service today. You took great care of us. I'd love to welcome you to my salon. These are 2 cards. I'm going to give you 2. They're $20 gift cards for our salon. Come and get a blow dry. I'd love to have you come. We're close by here. I have a great team. We do a lot of fun color. It'd be great to see you in the salon. So bring a friend, come on in and see us and give it out. It's amazing because most of them are college students or, people working in the industry. And they're excited. And always take away the risk when you give it to them. Don't come for a balayage tomorrow. People are afraid to get a haircut. Sometimes they don't know you. But a blow dry, always suggest it. It's a great tip and it's a great segue. If you have a picture on your card, which we do on our team, I think it's awesome. As an educator now, I love that because people give me their cards and I don't remember who they are. Now you can try to search them on social media, but it's nice to see the face. Have an offer on your card. Our regular business cards have an offer on the back as far as what our referral program is. So it's awesome. Smiling and be open. That's probably one of the biggest parts of the attract piece. When you look at somebody if they're open, meaning what is your vibe? Is your face open? There's always a saying, what is that saying that, are you happy? And they go, yeah. And you say, tell your face. Well, most people don't realize that. We joke and say resting bitch face, right? There's a lot of names for it. But you have to be open. My husband and I, and those of you that know both of us, we are very open people. We are putting it out there all the time. We like to talk to people. We like to meet people. When we're in stores, people think we work there all the time. It's hilarious. My husband waits on people. He'll take people around Home Depot and show them where things are. It's so funny, but people think we work there. And I used to get a little bit like, what? Like I'd get mad almost like, well, I don't work here, but eventually I understood because we engage them. When someone looks at me, I meet their eye, I smile. Sometimes I say hello. Well, they just think I'm being paid to do that. So I must work there, but I don't. So being open is so important. And I think that's such a hard thing to teach. It's more of a maturity and part of your dynamic, because as most of us know as stylists, and many of us know as salon owners, getting young people to be outgoing is very hard because maybe they're great when they do their haircuts, and they can talk to guests, but then when you sit and talk to them, they tell you they're shy. And it's pretty interesting when you hear someone say that. But it's true. Gaining that confidence to approach people. It reminds me of those of you that I'm sure know about, like the show Tabitha's Takeover. She used to really push everybody hard to get out of their comfort zone, push them to walk around, push them to promote themselves. It was agonizing for those people to do that because there's something about selling yourself that feels uncomfortable. But it's a whole different vibe when you're liking people and you're not engaged whether the fact they're going to become your client or not. You just want to talk to them about hair, and don't take it personally if they don't engage. That's okay too. And maybe they didn't engage then, but you know what, down the road they may remember you and they'll be like, you know what, I met that girl, she gave me that card, and whatever, and something will spark that change, and maybe they're going to turn around and show up. So it's all about asking. It's all about asking people for what you need, not just people coming in as the first time guests, but with your guests every day, with your team, with your sales consultants, with everybody that has an effect on what you do every day. If you can't ask, how do people know? You have to invite people. When someone comes into your salon, we talk about this a lot now because we've really focused on people need an invitation to touch anything. You'll have people walk in and they'll see so many cool things, and we have like a little boutique and we have some other stuff, but they'll sit there in the chair and you have to almost invite them and say, you know what, Jen's going to be about 10 minutes, so feel free to move around. If you want to get up and touch some of this stuff, come check this out over here. Then they're like, oh, okay. You have to invite them. You have to invite them to use your coffee bar. You have to invite them to help themselves when they walk in, and show them where everything is, and let them know that this is where their house is too, and they're invited to be there. And then when you want someone to be your guest, you can ask them, and when you want someone's help in engaging and getting more customers, you have to ask them. So we have something that we call the Rockstar script, and it's about building your business, and it's an easy thing to use the people that you love the most that are your guests. And you say to them, Derek, you are one of my favorite guests. Every time you come in, we have so much fun. I look forward to your visits all the time. I'm just starting to build my Wednesdays. I haven't been working Wednesdays, so now I'm adding it. So I do have some free time. Would you be able to take some cards? Maybe if you know anyone, I'd love the referral. What would you say to me, Derek? Jump in.
He was a little quick.
That's
I was
okay.
writing a note as I was doing that. So absolutely, I'm in, right? If you don't
Okay,
ask,
so
you don't.
yeah, my response would be not to assign you a task and hand you 3 cards. My response would be, Derek, how many cards would you like to take? And that puts on them the ownership and the signing up, because they got engaged with you on that. And usually they say, give me a whole bunch, because they don't, they're engaged.
Patty, I got to jump in here. Great point, because what we used to do in our salon, I was a membership salon, right? So we created memberships. We used to say, we used to make the cards of value, and that's the important part, what Patty's saying. You've got to make those cards worth something more than a piece of paper. You've got to say, hey, if you're a stylist, hey, my boss only allows me so many of these a month. If it's a giveaway, right? And if you're not going to use them, don't take them. But if you're going to give them to your friends, by all means, here you go. Pass them out, right? I'm handing cards out all day long. So you got to assign value to it instead of just a piece of paper.
Yeah, and what's really funny too is that Coldwell Banker, which is a Jersey started company, we're all Jersey tonight, they started to put pictures on the cards of the real estate agents before anybody else did, because people have a hard time throwing a photo away. So you'd get the card, you put it in your jacket, you get it home, and you're like, oh man, I feel bad tearing this card up and throwing it away. It's got this person's photo on it. So you tend to keep them longer, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's like a mental message that, you feel guilty. So when you're telling someone you're building your business, most people are already your clients are already into you. They already want to sign up. They already want to help. So when you tell them you're doing something, who doesn't want to help? When you say, I'm doing this now, I really could use support. Most people are going to be right there, complimenting people and asking them to be your model. With juniors, this is always funny, because they're afraid to engage, but it's always nice to start with a compliment. If someone stands out, and you think you're at a party or you meet someone, or even a waitress or someone you're meeting anywhere out in the store, I really love your boots. Where'd you get them? Those are so cool. Maybe you engage. I work at a great salon right down the road. I'd love to have someone like you come in. Sometimes I do editorial work, engage and compliment and get them on with you, get them in, because you want to create curiosity about what you want to do, and you want to get people interested in your vibe so that they're going to sign up.
Patti, I got a quick question, and this is going to relate to everybody. The problem I see out there is everybody says, I can do better hair, right? When you're doing this, it's not about the hair. It's about the value of the service. It's about something that you're giving a unique selling point as to who you are. That is sales. That is being human. It's not about, I'm a better hairstylist. We all say we're a better hair. We can cut your hair. We can color your hair better than everybody else. But you know what? Everybody's heard that. So Patti, talk to me about that quickly.
So, it's so funny because we tend to be judgy. And you're right about, thinking we could do better. And I think that just a lot of us, I can speak for myself, being a hairstylist, we're ego driven, and we're competitive, and we want our work to be good. And then the other part of that is we're sometimes just appalled because we see something that we feel so bad for the person because maybe they were destroyed by another stylist or something happened. And I think, you really have to look from what you're projecting when you're in that situation and how you're coming across. And you're not bashing someone else's work. Maybe you just don't know where you're coming from. My philosophy is to never really put anything down or anyone or any other product or any other salon. I've defended many hairdressers, clients that have come to me complaining about something, or even my own that had to maybe do something and come back and, oh, they didn't know what they were doing. And I've actually said, this is really not, this haircut is a good haircut. It's just not the haircut you're used to because I cut hair different, but the haircut they gave you is fine. And they look at me like, oh, and I'm like, no, really. I had someone come to me recently that was that. And she had to go away because of her work schedule and she commutes far to get to me. And she came back and I swear, I have to tell you honestly, I think her hair looks better now with what the hairdresser did before than what I was doing because I hated the haircut I was giving her. And I told her so. I'm like, and she goes, oh my God, I can't have this. I need those short layers. And I was like, oh my God, leave it alone. But you have to give her what she wanted. But coming from a place of think about where you are when you're projecting to that client and try not to be judgy because it's really hard, creating energy. This is a basic right here on the screen is like 101 first day beauty school, getting out and having to get a client and how you talk about yourself. But, it extends to hairdressers. I meet hairdressers that are in the business 30 years, and you hear them somewhere, what do you do? And they just go, oh, I'm a hairdresser. Like, it just sounds so pitiful. Like there's no ferocity in that. There's no, like, where are you with that? Are you good with it? Or are you unhappy about it? Are you discounting what you do? So we do an exercise around just getting your script. What do you say? And it's usually 3 sentences. And it's just basically who you are, where you work, something about that place, and then something that's going to be an invitation. So a script right here. Hi, my name is Patti. I'm a hairstylist at a great salon called Techniques in East Brunswick. I work with an amazing team of stylists. We specialize in great cuts and color techniques, and I would love to have you visit my salon and be a model for me. I always joke because the powerful script that I use a lot is when people don't know me and they meet me somewhere and they go, what do you do for a living? And I always joke and say, I hold people's self-esteem in my hands every day. And they always go, really? What do you do? And I go, I'm a hairstylist. And they always laugh. And it always starts a good energy. It always starts an exchange. It creates a story.
Unique selling point, Patti, right? Unique selling point.
Point of difference.
You didn't say, you're better than everybody else. You went into something else. That's the important part.
Yeah, it's creating that interest, that curiosity. People don't, you hear people say now, I'm a day maker, I'm a people, I people pleaser. I love the self-esteem meme on Facebook that says I can ruin your life for 6 months in 15 minutes. I'm a hairstylist, because that's very true. So, we do hold people's self-esteem, but when you're engaging someone, think about what you're saying and don't just say, well, I shampoo down the road, make it better. Here's my 2 seconds on this. Discount free, whatever you decide, it's your brand. This slide is here for juniors that I'm teaching to figure out what's some ways that they can be engaged. Now, a new guest offer, a lot of salons offer, we do, but you don't always want to create coupon people that are just going to bounce around. And we talked about that on the Groupon and that type of thing. So you have to be careful, although we are in a big coupon generation. Josh Hafitz and I have had talks about this for a long time, because it's been created now, like the Kohl's coupon or the Macy's thing. You don't go there without it, right? We're totally sucked into getting the deal. So if you're doing a new client offer, that's wonderful. We do have a new client packet that has some juice in it for them too, but it's an idea to just enhance the first time welcome. The free haircut with any color service is what we do to get our juniors confident. We offer that to people that really aren't in their full-blown hair cutting skill set yet, but they need to do haircuts to learn what to do. And the client is aware that they're a new talent, but it's giving them a chance without the guilt of charging someone $45 to $55 for a haircut when they're really not on their game yet. And they don't want to be, you want to be integrity, and you want to stand there with confidence and not feel like you're charging for something that maybe you don't own yet. So the free haircut with color takes away that feeling for the stylist. It gives them work. It gives them more repetition. They'll be doing much more hair cutting than if they just had haircuts and colors, charged for both the services. But it does help, and it's a nice hook. And the other thing as an owner is a haircut doesn't cost you anything but time. There's no product involved. So if you're going to give something away, it's not such a bad thing to give away, especially for your junior team. So choose wisely when you're doing your discounts. Make sure it fits for you, but also make sure it fits for your cash flow. Ask Stephen Gomez about that. So this is just my 2 cents. Yes.
One on that before you jump into the next one. Takes kind of 2 of your slides together. We did a card that we handed out, and it was blowout before you go out. And every one of our stylists, it was a free blowout to get people introduced to our salon. So it was called Blowout Before You Go Out. And everywhere they spent money, they had to hand out those cards. That was our policy, period.
Mm-hmm. Did it yield good results?
Oh my God. All day long, it built the juniors up instantly.
There you go. And you want their hands to be busy, and you want them to get their soft skills on. So they need to get people in their chair. It's important, So I love this slide because with everything, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And everything's daunting to us, especially when you're not good at it. So you just got to put that out of your head, stop your negative thinking, and just put it into a simple system and just take a deep breath and go through the steps. So we're going to go through this quickly. Someone was asking on the feed how long we're going to go. Since we started so late, I'm going to be about 10 more minutes. I know people, it's a Sunday night, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty quickly. But I just wanted to go through some of the capture. So the capture is really what happens when you're in the show, I like to call it. So when you come into the salon, we used to say we're on stage, we're hosting guests, and we're actually going through a show with them. We're performing in many ways. So your first impression, we talked about. Your introduction, how you introduce yourself, we talked about that a little bit. The consult is a class in itself, but I'll touch on a few things. The education of what you're telling them you're doing and what you're doing and how to take care of it and what it's going to look like and what they're going to need to do. The execution is the actual skill when you're doing your skill set. And then what's the take-home part of the show? What is the pre-book, and how do you thank them? So the capture is a lot of steps that can be broken down and be, torn apart in a million ways. But the capture is so important because that's basically soup to nuts. So when you get through that, the words of wisdom are building a relationship. My friend John DeJulius, he just posted this recently. John is one of the smartest men I've ever met in this industry. And I bow to him every day because he's amazing with customer service and Secret Service. But building a relationship with someone else, whether an acquaintance, a friend, a customer, a coworker, or a total stranger who thinks you work at the store you're standing in, is far and away the most important skill every human being should be taught at an early age and then should be honed throughout life. I think they should put this in the Meade book in beauty school because yeah, I think people, Steve Gomez, can you make that happen? Because I think it's so important. The relationship is why they come. It's why they stay. It's that feeling. I know the text and the emails that we're getting from our guests right now. They miss us. They miss us. Yes, they miss their roots and their haircut, but they miss us. They miss the salon family that they have. So when you're working on the show, these are some things that are really important. how do you present yourself at a guest consultation? Are you in a nice area of the salon? Are you standing in the reception area and they're sitting and you're talking to them? Are you behind them in the mirror? Are you talking over them at the sink? Set the stage, people. Get in eye contact. Sit below them. Mirror their body language. If they're excitable, be excitable. If they're calm, be calm. Lean into them. Have a pen and paper. Let them know that you're really invested in what they're saying. Make notes. Ask them how they found you and ask your key questions. And try to listen more and talk less, which is very hard for someone like me. Look for the keywords. Those are the buzzwords, but those words that they say are the key to bringing it back for what service you're doing, what product you're recommending, what price point, what's their wallet. Those words are going to tell you a lot. So if they say something about their hair, whether they say, I want to look young, that's very valid in what you're going to do to them. Whether they say my hair is flat, that's very valid. My hair is fried. Those words are going to be taken back into something else that I teach called PETS. And PETS is an acronym for product, education, tools, and service. If someone gives you a word, you can go to one of those categories and make a recommendation out of one of them or in all of them. And that's a way that you're going to market and you're going to figure out what your services are going to be for that client. So
yeah, I think it's good, Patti. I think it's good to mention. I mean, obviously, everybody, lots of really good comments about, everything down the line of the struggles that people have. But with this reset, not just what we're doing collectively as a group, but we're really big on the consultation. I know almost all the educators here would agree that the consultation sort of starts the foundation, right? It's the presentation of the tablecloth before you even get someone to bring you the cocktail and how you interpret everything. But for salons that have been struggling with saying, man, I'd love to change the way we did that. We've had these existing clients who've been dealing with the same way. Use this reset to your advantage and say, hey, we need to change how we do it because now sanitation is part of this. How we present everything
how we
out
show
to
up
them is part of it.
Yeah.
So same thing with your staff. You had said earlier about, dressing the part and looking the part. Use it as a complete reset in your own individual little salon too. Don't look at this as the greater picture. Like in your little microcosmos, when you reopen, what does it look like? What did you always want to do and wish that you could have gotten off? And take the reins and take charge.
Yeah. I want to repeat something because Nikki's asking. So PETS, the acronym, stands for products, education, tools, and service. So to clarify what that means, if someone said to me, I have fried hair, so the product I would recommend would be something that would be repairing and helping it. The education would be teaching them how to do a smoothing blow dryer, use an iron to make that frizz go away. The tool would be, what am I going to use to help them get that? And do they have it at home and can they function with that? And then the service would be, maybe it's a keratin or it's a, some type of smoothing service. Those are the things. So PETS is an acronym that you can use for anything that they tell you. So it's a great way to teach your team to think, outside the box and not just go with one thing. And you don't have to give them a solution from every letter in that acronym, but there's a barrage of things that you can bring back based on the buzzwords that they give you and the solutions that you're providing them. So it's important. So let's jump ahead, have them show you Lang, things like that, make the service recommendation. So we're gonna bring this home now. So when you're educating your client, Josh, you coined this, expert premium is a great word. Just explaining the services and how long it will take, including the price, the maintenance schedule, the number of weeks necessary to keep it looking great, explain the products, and explain the referral program. I think the last one, I think we drop the ball all the time. I don't think most people know sometimes that people have a referral program. They don't know anything about it. Most team members don't talk about it. I see it happen all the time. Something on the bottom right I added to this slide was when the cape comes off, the show is over. So the mentality of the visit is you have their attention while they're under that cape. But when that cape comes off, let me tell you, their mind shifts right out of the chair and they're in the car, even though they're still in the salon. They're at, it happens quickly, and that is a cue. So when you want to continue on with your pre-book and all of the things that should happen before you close that show, you can't get to the register and start throwing product at them and start talking about a pre-book. You can't. If you're not doing that during your consult, then during the show and during the close, you're going to have a hell of a time selling anything at the end. And the client's going to be like, you're shoving stuff down their throat at the end. It's not going to come across well. So when you're doing your explanation, you should do it before you start, and you talk to them about the time frame, and you ask them. My favorite questions for my guests, and they love it, is I say, okay, this is what we've talked about. This is what I'm hearing. Now, what I really want to know is, how often do you want to be here? How much do you want to invest? And how much do you want to sign up for doing at home? Because I want to make sure I can do anything to make you look beautiful today. But if you can't do it at home, I'm not giving you the value that I really want. I want to make sure that you can do it. And that's important to me, that it's going to fit. And that's respect. So doing that is so respectful, and making sure that the guest is connected to what they're investing in. So these things are so important. I'm going to just jump ahead. Closing. Don't leave them hanging, right? Here we go. So we're at the end and we're escorting them. Now, we should have prefaced all of these things we just talked about. And we all have our, we hear all of these things that we've learned over the years to line up the styling products, give them a quick thing. The biggest thing I want to focus on is the bottom left. What would you like to get started with today? The biggest thing that I learned that benefited me the most in all of my years of education is the yes or no question not being asked. The yes or no question is dead in the water. If you ask people yes or no question, they will go to no 80% of the time without even question. So if you're going to ask somebody, do they want something? Sometimes they're not even going to think about it, even if they do, and they're just going to say no. So when you get to this part, a great script, simple line is, Jennifer, these are the products I use to create your style. What would you like to get started with today? There it is, booyah. It's not asking them, Jen, did you want any of the things I showed you before? No. Okay. Just ask a question that's open-ended, not yes or no. And then when you're telling them the number of weeks to tell them how their hair is going to look, don't say, would you like to pre-book your next appointment? And we teach this avidly, and I still stand at my front desk and hear a team member come up and say, you want to book your next appointment? And the thing I say to them is, you hear their voice go up. You know what that means? That means you're not confident, because your voice went up. It was that breath. And right away you're saying to them, I know you don't want to, but I have to ask this. You know what I mean? So that is so important, the inflection when you get to the desk. So instead of saying that script, Jen, do you want to book your next appointment? Say, I need to see you back in 6 weeks. That's what's going to be the best spot for where your roots are going to need to be. That's the week of April 27th. I'm here Tuesday and Wednesday. Which day works for you? Don't give them the yes or no. Change the script all the time when you get to the close.
Hey,
It's
Patty,
important.
you'll love this. Josh just said booyah. That was it. But I thought you'd get a kick out of that. But, it's funny, the pre-booking part, like you said, about, we've trained our staff. It took a while to get them exactly where we wanted it to be, but we don't even ask. They just say
do it.
now, okay, I want to see you in 6 weeks. That'll be Wednesday, XYZ date. And then they bring that up to the desk. And then at least sometimes the client obviously freaks out and says, hey, I can't commit yet. I don't know. But it's not like, do you want to pre-book? Do you want to rebook? They're just told to do it, because if
It's
they're going to view you
understood.
as an
It's
expert,
understood. Yeah.
well, you already told them in the consultation, I want to see you in 12 weeks for that highlight, or 6 weeks for your single process. That's what it is. I'm the expert. You came to me for that.
All right,
This
guys.
is when I want to see you.
James, you're right. Like when you go to a doctor's office, Patty, you nailed it, right? When you go to a doctor, do they say, when do you want to come in again?
Exactly.
The doctor
They
wants to
just
see
tell
you in 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Done. Does the last part of the week work for you, or the first part of the week for you? They don't give you a yes or no, period.
Exactly.
Get it freaking
Yeah.
do your pre-books. It's
And
very
I have
easy
to
to
say,
do.
I think our industry has really come so far in that most salons, like friends of mine, they say, I just book them for the rest of the year, and it's understood. It's understood, you're making it just, and I want to add a sidebar, something that's really active right now. And I talked to my team about it at a team meeting 2 months ago. It's called decision fatigue. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but they talk about it in the book Essentialism. People nowadays, you make over 34,000 decisions a day. We're exhausted, from the minutia to deciding to brush your teeth and driving to work and what shirt you're wearing. People are tired. They just want someone to take over for them. Tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to buy. Tell me when I need to be here. The decision fatigue is great. And they want their hair to look good, and they trust that they're just going to let you lead them through. So it's understood, different things about giving them the date. We don't even need to do that. And then this is the close. So you want to be their source for everything. You want to keep the romance alive because you are marrying those clients and they're going to be with you a long time if you're doing all these things.
Yeah, and Linda posted something in the group here on Zoom, and she said, don't forget you should be repeating what you said at the chair, and it gets easier. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I'm sure Patti could tell all of that in her coaching, but as you do it, and as the systems are there, and as you start to have the staff adopt it, it just gets easier. It becomes commonplace, and it's second nature.
Yeah, repetition's your best teacher. If you can role play this, it's even more helpful. Making your team kind of jump out of their comfort zone, but role playing is really, really strong. Planting the seed for future visits is guaranteeing insurance that the client is not going to disappear when the girl at the desk next to them gets a Rockstar balayage somewhere else cheaper. You've got to connect with them and let them know the show's going on. We have a future together. I have an idea for you. I think in the fall, let's look towards this. Creating that sense of we have an ongoing thing is so important. And then check in, be authentic with what you sold them before. How many of us have stood behind the chair and represented a product and tried to sell it and they said, well, I bought that from you last time. Oh my God, I feel like a complete jerk. But it happens. It happens to me. We're human, so be aware. Check your client's history, look at your sheets, your travelers, whatever you have. Keep it fresh and fun for the guests. Don't be boring. Don't just be like, same thing, you got the color in the bowl when they walk in. Acknowledge them as much as you can. If you know they're coming in the week of their birthday, the computer tells you, do special things. Maybe you don't send out cards, but the salon does. You can do something on the side. Of course, basic other stuff, follow up, let them know you appreciate them. So, the quant of this is if you're outgrowing who you've been, you're right on schedule. You should be always evolving, and if we get tired and we get complacent, we get bored, and it shows up everywhere. It shows up in our work. It shows up with our teammates. I think that salon owners, it's a tireless crusade every day. And every day we go back to that vision of what we want it to look like. Well, what I say to you as a salon owner is don't ever give up on your dream. Don't ever let someone tell you it's not a good idea. Fail 1,000 times, keep doing it. If you have a vision for something you want in your salon, you believe in it, just keep doing it. Because I think this is a great time. And I think that leadership is going to be super important right now. And people are scared and people want to do the right thing and they want someone to guide them. So give your teams, give your clients, give them the security of a roadmap of what it's going to look like. Be a leader, be comforting, and take them along so that we can all get through this. I wish everybody, so much safety right now. I know how scary this is. If anyone wants to reach out, here's my contacts, my salon stuff, my T-School stuff. I am accessible. I love to talk to salon owners. If you need something, if you need help right now, even if you just need someone to compare notes with and you're a little scared, hit me up. I would love to talk to you about it. I thank everybody for letting me be on. I know we went late because of the delay, and thank you for hanging in with me. Thank you for all my salon owner peeps out there, Sally, Barb, Rose, of course, Josh, Stephen Gomez, my business coach. And thank you guys on the forum. You guys are like my family now.
Patti, we got a bunch of questions, okay? So don't go anywhere.
I'm
so
not
the first
going.
one I want to address, somebody asked, what point is at what point is a price hike too much? I have my thoughts on this, but I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. Well, a price hike, there's so many ways we can go at this, and I'm anxious to hear your take too. So when is your price increase valid? Well, the industry used to say, okay, if you're booked 85% more than 90 days out, you should have a price increase. Yeah, okay, so you're at economic demand, so that's an indicator. But what about your expenses? What about what you're doing and how much it's costing and quantifying that?
Amen.
Jackie was so spot on with that. So Jackie, I was totally vibing with her. And of course, she was also, had the same business coach as me with Stephen. And we talk about that a lot. Everything just went up for us. Our color brand changed price, and we needed to quantify that. So when you're looking at your price, you don't call the salon down the street, right? You don't just compare because they're charging that, I'm charging that. But you need to quantify it, and you need to know what your product costs are, and you need to know what your labor costs are and your overhead. And you really need to break that down to what your average ticket is. And if you're quantifying your color, like we talked about a couple nights ago, then you should really know. You need to put that down in an equation. So Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously my thought is exactly yours. You need to know your price per hour of what it costs you to operate, plus your desired profit. Once you have that price, then you have a base. If you're charging under that, you know you need to increase prices. If you're charging above it, then you need a unique selling point, and you should be increasing prices yearly, the same as distributors are doing for a cost of living adjustment. That's my quick thought on everything.
Yeah. And I used to do a cross, adjustment every year when I was, the first 10 years of open, every year we'd raise prices October 1, and it was always one side. So we did haircuts one year and then color the other. And we just did it based on cost of living. We didn't do it based basically on quantifying everything, because I was a young salon owner and I was figuring it all out. And it was nice, but we realized as I started to get into coaching also, we were rewarding negative behaviors because we were giving everybody a raise, even people that were slacking. So then we started to do performance-based raises based on, popular talent demand. And then of course, quantifying what the pricing was. Hey, James, go ahead. I could see.
No, really good point. It's interesting. One of the things that I love about working with all of you guys together on this collaborative project is, you're mentioning Stephen Gomez training you. So it's like the trainer training the trainer, training the trainer down the line. And I would say to anybody that had other questions or a lot of amens to the things that you said, is that Patti started somewhere. She adopted these systems. She learned from other people. She put the time in to do it. And while you have this time, which, we don't really have any idea, right, in New Jersey, what we're working with, but while you have this time, don't waste it. Don't squander. If it could be another 6, 8, who knows how many weeks, use it to your advantage. I mean, rewatch a lot of these classes. Everybody has a great topic. Go back to Patti's slides, because some of those things, from the basics of the consultation to, just handing out a business card. I mean, 2 really easy things, right? You should all be doing a consultation. No kidding. I love the fact that when the robe comes off, because they have 1 foot out the door at that point. So look at what you did before you had to close and say, man, if I could implement just a couple of these things, that would make such a huge difference.
Patty, couple things, and I want you to interact as I'm talking. Okay,
Sure.
first thing you talked about, concentric circle. Concentric circle is a sales funnel. Always keep it full, right? So I want to remind everybody what Patti said. Your sales funnel always has to be full, because people die, people go to other salons, whatever it is, unfortunately, but you have to consistently market, as Patti told you. Just 2 seconds on
attrition.
that.
Always attrition.
7 to 10%
Stephen Gomez,
a year.
Stephen Gomez just said, please go back to his presentation. He has a price point spreadsheet in there. Who was the question about how do I raise my price point? He has a formula that populates.
Yeah, so definitely do that. I posted it in the group. It's in the group files tab. Steve has all the information for you. There's 3 slides in it, or 3 Excel sheets on how to calculate this stuff, and it makes it easy breezy for you. Awesome stuff. And Steve gave it away as a freebie in the group. So make sure you definitely look at this stuff.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah.
Just one thing, Patti. You mentioned a number of times with the business cards. You mentioned with the birthday cards, and some of us, don't believe that these things work. But in this day and age, they do work. I'll tell you, yesterday I got this card.
Aww.
It was the only card, in
a stack of bills, right?
A bunch of bills and the card.
Yeah.
And, it stood out. And I know this guy. And hey, stand out. And it's tougher to stand out today online. And you have to be online.
Yeah.
Than it is here.
But old school's pretty cool.
Old school is very cool.
Yep. I got a card from a girlfriend last week. Yep. And it stands out. She always sends me cards. And she just sent me a card because of what's going on with my business. And, it was so appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah. And remember,
personalized handwritten. Yeah. Remember, marketing is not about electronics. That's one part of it. It's about the personal connection. If you can get down and you can write a handwritten note to your people, still old school, that's what we used to do. It's gold. It's gold.
I'd like to field a question I see here from D. What recommendations do you have for employees that do not embrace a reset? So something that I learned back in the day was when you have a team member that works for you, they obviously work there because at some point they trusted you. And at some point they, wanted to team with you for some reason. So when you're getting pushback from team, it's usually fear-based. And a lot of times we look at it as laziness, but also change is scary. So, you have to connect with them on a different level. My recommendation on that is to ask them. I've actually asked team members that I felt pushback from, you've placed so much trust in me and I thank you for that. And I want you to trust me now because, all of the work I've been doing and all the education I've been taking is really leading me to see that my peer group is having a lot of success in this. And I really believe this is going to take us forward. And I want you to trust me. Do you think you can trust me? Because I believe that these systems are really what we need right now. And that's about the relationship. That's about the relationship you have with your team. So gaining trust and just acknowledging their fear. It's okay that they're uncomfortable, but you've got it. You can't stay the same. You can't. Things are changing too fast right now.
Yeah, and you know what, Patty, someone else had another question sort of on the same topic. Jacqueline said, have you ever had a team member comply 50% of the time, and what do you do? And I'm laughing because when Derek had mentioned Jay Williams was going to be on, which Jay and I had a really long talk. He's an early riser, so it's annoying to me sometimes when we do these calls late and Jay calls me first thing in the morning. But we laughed. So we talked about commitment versus compliance. And as the protocol guy in the salon, I take Derek's Marine lead, and I'm like, everybody has to do this exactly the same way every single time. And Jay had said that if you can get them to commit to it, they will comply and the compliance will follow that. So I'd just love to hear what your answer is on that.
You're never going to get everybody to sign up. You always have that little bit of pushback, that person that's kind of the backroom manager or someone that's always pushing back, and those are hard decisions. I've struggled for years as a salon owner, keeping people in my company that were bucking my authority. And it's a very tough run. And, sometimes it's not worth the effort of trying to figure out where the hell they're coming from. And sometimes it's not serving you, but they've been with you for 20 years or 15 years and you get sucked in and you go to work every day feeling like someone else is controlling the game. It's very frustrating. I've lived it.
They don't comply.
I know. And it's hard.
Right.
It's hard. Of course, everyone's just going to say, just fire them. If you're that invested, then maybe you just need to call it out. There's a book called Fierce Conversations. If you can get your hands on that, if you have somebody that's not complying, maybe there's more dialogue that you can do, but there's something that they're not getting that they need, so they're pushing back. So it's a little bit of a psychology game, but if someone's not doing it 50% of the time, the normal pretext would be to write them up and give them a warning and say, this isn't working. Don't attack them and say, I'm going to fire you, but say, I understand, this isn't working. And I know that you've been saying you're on board, but your behaviors are showing that you're not doing certain things. Can we connect on this? Is there support? How can I help you get there? And if I can't, we need to know that this is a standard that we're all respecting. And if we need to come back to this again in 30 days, and if it's not happening, then we're going to have to move forward with a different choice. So it's a tough conversation.
Patty, I want to ask you, James, can you mute us? I don't know. I'm getting feedback. I think Andrew, it might be your mic. Hold on. Patty, I have two things I want to go over with you before we wrap up and take a couple more questions. And I found them very, very important to the conversation tonight as to what you said. And I was amazed that you and I think so much alike. The first one is dating and divorce. Okay. Now I say that lightly, but obviously, dating, right? We have to be in all places for that client. You talked about dating a client, right? Basically, not in reality, but when you're making a first impression with the client, you've got to be there to get them in the salon, and then you've got to impress them, right? Because it's a first date, as you said, right? So, and the second thing is divorce, because every client is already a client of another salon. So you have to be there with them, be the best looking person in the bar all the time until they are breaking up in that divorce, right? To become your client and go on a date with you. So it's a funny analogy that I was surprised you brought that up, but it's a great analogy. Talk to me about that a little bit.
It's definitely, I mean, and it's like romancing them all the time because it's so easy for them to disappear. I'm looking at Steven saying ungrateful. Yeah, how many times did we feel that, right? We gave them everything we could, right? Supported systems, taught them how to cut hair, taught them how to talk to clients, taught them how to manage their money. And then all of a sudden, the pretty girl down the block wooed them away, and we're burned, and it sucks. So I've tried to shift my thinking on that. I've had my share of, not a full walkout, but I've lost team members from 17 years and I had, a couple of them go together. And I actually look back now and I know it was a blessing because my culture was shifting so quickly. And there was a cancer in my business and I was glad it got cut out. But the fact that, there's always going to be attrition. And I say one of my managers, she's probably on here, Linda, I hope you're out there. She'll say to me in response to my response, I always try to take the highest road I can. And I stand on that like a proud, crazy person. And, sometimes I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face, but anybody that has worked in my company walked away with something more than what they came with. And it's something that's going to serve them. They took many things with them and they're going to use them down the road. And I've said to people, even in a burn situation, this didn't work out. It is what it is. We had a lot of things together. Take them and give them to somebody else as you go your path. And that's what I say. Share what you know, leave it in a good note. Don't take the low road. Don't get sucked in because it's not worth it. Linda always tells me I'm the nicest salon owner in the world because I'm like, being so nice when someone disses me. And I'm like, you know what? That makes them smaller. And they want me to fight back because normally when someone burns you, you're going to go to the defense. Stay on the offense. It serves you better.
So the next one I have for you, and this was probably my biggest takeaway from this evening, is sales start when somebody walks in the door and sales end when they're in their car, right? And this is so important to me. I see so many stylists that hand a ticket to somebody and go up to the front desk and check out, right? Because they're already on to the next client and they haven't spent that extra 5 minutes to make that first date the most important date ever. Even if it's your client that's been there for 10 years, you have to treat them as if they're the last person on earth. And it drives me nuts when I don't see this with salons that I coach.
Yeah. And it's amazing because you could have had a rock star visit, but you could have really lost the guest at the last, at the end. So I saw something here that was interesting. Shannon, I lost the comment, but Shannon said something that was really relevant. Can anybody go back in the feed a couple for Shannon's comment? I lost it. It's on Facebook.
Oh, I got it. Hold on. I have it.
Yeah, not her last one. The
Shannon said, I feel there will be a lot of stylists who will work for a better leader. Let the ones that don't want to be a team and rebuild your team.
Amen. I think that's going to be a big thing. People are looking for strong leadership. And I think that people are scared and I think they're going to look for leaders, you know what I mean? And they're going to want someone to help carry strong through this. So I love that comment, Shannon. Thank you. Anything else on here? Yep.
I think that's about it.
Yep. Stephen said they may leave, but the clients will come back. I believe that too, Stephen, because sometimes people leave with their person, but they go to a different home that doesn't serve them, and then it's a good thing. You have the environment that you created and get them when they're in your salons knowing other people, not just being married to one person. So it's valid.
Your culture and your home, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we used to, we always trained for who knows if we're going to be able to handshake again, but like a 2-4-8 rule. So if they're 2 feet in front of you, shake their hand. If they're 4 feet away, you say hello. And if you're 8 feet away, you wave. Because so many times, think of other businesses. You go in and the restaurant that you go to all the time, the waitress walks right by you that's not your waitress instead of just giving you a smile or a nod. And it just gets to be a little bit frustrating. They hear you like a place so much, everything's great, and then you say, wow, the experience, even though my waiter or waitress was great, it's just the overall experience just was missing that one little key piece.
Yeah, and that's enough. That's enough to turn you off.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So I gotta say something with that. We used to actually write welcome, blah, blah, blah in dry
On the mirror.
erase marker for each client. This way, every stylist that walked by knew that client's name and you could recognize that client and say, hey, Patti, great to have you in here. It's great to see you in here. You have to get this stuff done. It has to be a personal connection every time. And I don't want to use like a robot, but it has to be like a robot. But if you don't feel it and you're not genuine about it, and you don't feel a connection to every person that comes into place, whether they're your client or not, you're not creating a great team culture,
And
period.
take a tip from the restaurant industry. There should be a manager or an owner that checks in with clients on the floor during their visit. Just like they come over at the middle of the show and say, how is everything tonight? I'm James, the manager. You know what I mean? That connection is very important. Someone else acknowledging and saying, and just saying, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. People appreciate that so much.
Does anybody else have any questions of Patti? Let's see.
Just what will
With the
distributors will do.
broom.
I saw that.
Yes.
Somebody wrote, what do you think distributors will do? Shannon wrote that. I'm not sure in regards to what, Shannon, but I don't know why she wrote that.
Josh. Well,
Yeah,
Shannon
distributor do.
ask your question clarified, and then maybe a distributor in here can answer you.
Josh, you got anything to say? He's saying he likes the mirror idea. Go, Jeff. That's funny. So, well, I think that's a lot of it. All right.
Great.
Yeah, that was great, Patti.
Patti,
Patti, are the slides going to be available for us as well? Because a bunch of people had asked about the slides.
Yeah, I can share the slides. We can maybe make a file for them. I don't know how I'll collaborate with you guys on that, I guess.
Yeah, so Patti, you just send me the slides. I'll post them in the group, and they will be in the files tab of the group. There's tons of free files in there, and take advantage of them from all the educators that have been here tonight and before this, and just eat it up. It's free stuff for you. So just jump on it and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Salon Ops, SALONOPS, to watch the videos afterwards. So you can see all your favorite educators. Obviously, all their contact information will be on there also. Take advantage of their courses and offers that they're giving to you, because most of them are giving big discounts on their courses and giving you their time and their knowledge, which is super, super important. I can't tell you how much work it's been, not just from us, but from all the educators to put this together for you for free. This is stuff that you see in shows and pay thousands of dollars for and extra courses. Just folks, eat this stuff up. We're all here to help the industry and fix everything. So it's our passion as educators to make a dent on this industry and have you come back as all of you being rock stars. This is going to hurt everybody and in the short term, but when you're doing the reset, right? This is the beauty business reset. When you reset and take this time to watch all these videos, make a change for yourself. Now is the time to make a change for yourself. Out of all these lessons, the most important thing I can say to anybody is people talk about change, but it isn't going to happen on its own. Take this time to actually do the do, walk the walk, and make the change.
Derek, two points here. You know, everyone is anticipating, or many people are, that this may last 6 to 8 weeks or more. What if it doesn't? What if it's shorter? What are you doing with the time? What if in 2 weeks, that's all, you know, it would be a blessing, but if we're going to do a reset, you got 2 weeks. So engage with the next 2 weeks, this week, every day with intensity and get it done now. Do not wait. Don't go away saying, well, mañana, there's more coming up. And there is more coming up. And maybe, Derek, you'll tell our crowd who's coming up this week?
Oh, it's funny. I don't want to take it away from you, Derek, but tomorrow is another Jersey favorite of ours. Christine Zielinski's going to be on,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
talking about managing crisis. So our TED Talk alumnus is going to come in. She's going to give us some schooling. And
Another one of my mentors.
that's it. And I just want to thank Jeff Jansky from Aura Mirrors, who, as I mentioned at the beginning when we were doing our pre-warm up, that had a lot of great information, like Nikki Lee. He invited his whole team over on the call tonight. They were excited to see you. They're excited to see Christine. They're excited to see Vivian McKender on Tuesday. If I think I'm right, Andrew. I don't know if I think
You
I'm
are,
right.
you are.
Good.
Great Vivian McKinder. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her too.
Thank you for giving me so much homework to do tomorrow, Patty, because school is supposed to be off this week with
Sorry.
spring break. So between
Let's go
you,
Mets.
Oscar, and Steven, I'm like, I have paperwork lined up. Look, I'm gonna call you later. I have my little digital device I was
Oh,
telling
I
you
can't
about.
wait. I'm getting that.
No, it was great. Lots
Patty,
of love
you
coming
were
your way across the board.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
You were magnificent. Thank you,
I was
Pat.
happy to share. I love all this stuff and I love the industry. I think we're full of magic and we can all really help each other as much as we can. So, perfect.
Patty, love you. Thank you. Thank you for your effort and your time and
Mhm.
for helping people. That's
Great.
the most important thing. Everybody, before we sign off, let's just take 10 seconds to say a prayer for all those who have died and to pray for all the people that may be affected by the COVID virus. So please stay on for 10 seconds. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Again, Patty, you were awesome. What an awesome education tonight. People, I see your Facebook blowing up.
Yeah. Friend requests are pouring in.
So everybody have a great evening and we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
God bless. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, guys. Good night.